Would you like to know who the most overwanked character in all of fiction actually is? No, it's not the Cosmic Armor. No, it's not Lucifer or the Presence. It's actually Void Shiki from the Type Moon franchise. And there's really not a lot of information on this character. She's virtually feetless, which is why most scalers on TikTok and Quora and Comic Vine and YouTube and other platforms love to project their own feats and reinterpretations on this character that simply don't exist. I think the best feat that this character ever demonstrated was fixing someone's broken leg. Now, everything else that this character is capable of is hearsay and really character boasting without any actual evidence that she's actually capable of doing those things. Now, of course, there is a split difference there where, sure, she is a cosmic abstract from this fiction that claims to be able to do all this stuff because she just doesn't have to prove herself. But on the other hand, when we scale things in fictional versus battles, we need some kind of concrete evidence. And I've been going over this character for some weeks now, just looking for something. Now, mind you, this fiction is like 800 hours long, and I've invested copious amounts of hours into this fiction just to find out what the actual facts are, and I came away with a lot of stuff. So, who and what is Void Shiki? Well, there's this thing called the Root, which is supposed to be like a void astral form that contains all of existence. Now, you'll see a lot of scalers on TikTok and YouTube and Discord say that Void Shiki is just the ultimate embodiment of the void. Well, here's the problem. There are lots of different types of voids located in different places. Not all voids are created equal. So, for example, the Root, the true emptiness, as stated by law, emptiness is a territory of freedom, free from binary opposition. It is the heart that contemplates the world as it should be and as it is. The sky is distant, the colors pale. A noble figure stands on an uncertain boundary, gazing at the whereabouts of the stars. Now, why is that important? Why is this really something to even talk about? Well, we continue onward. Attempts to reach the outside world, according to Hermeticism, there's a power that governs dimensional theory outside of this world. It's called the swirl of the origin, also called the Root. And it's a coordinate that's considered to be the beginning of all things. It's the start and the end of all creation. It's the seat of God, recording everything and able to create anything. Now, we continue onward here. This is a place without boundaries. You have a name, so you shouldn't be here. Now, if you listen to any Void Shiki enthusiast, they're going to automatically tell you that you can scale Void Shiki to places like the Overvoid, or the Absolute Void of Hinduism, or even the Garbhodaka Void of the Pralaya of modern Hinduism. Here's why this is a problem. Because when you look at this, it tells you in this fiction that the Root is actually the Akasha from Vedantic Hinduism. And it's really just the void that contains only the mortal realms. It's not the all-encompassing void. It's not even the Garbhodaka void. So what the hell does that even mean? Well, if you look at it, here is a scan of the Hinduism cosmic map. This is what the religion really looks like. Now, at the bottom of this picture is the Garbhodaka. That's the Pralaya Sea of Brahma. That is the all-encompassing boundary that contains every single creation. Within one creation, there is a void that contains only the mortal realms. Now, I've highlighted that with a circle here and a big arrow so you can see it on the Hinduist map. That is the void that Void Shiki is from. That void right there is the central void that is not all-encompassing. It's not even equivalent to the absolute. The absolute void is containing everything you see in this picture, whereas the Sea of Brahma Garbhodaka Ocean is just the space between all the different creations. Void Shiki's void is right in the center, and it's only around the mortal realms. That's what the Akasha actually is. So why is this important? Again, because a lot of people like to use the word omnipotence, Omnipotent. Well, they said omnipotent here and that. Connection to the root. This was born of nothing and shall one day reach nothing. So, in other words, the same qualities of the omnipotent wish granter itself, normal parameters will become meaningless to those in possession of this skill. What does that mean? What this means is that the word omnipotent in the Japanese language doesn't mean all-powerful. It's not always meaning God, which is Zen no or Ba no. Okay? Just like other words in every other language, they are nouns and they have different meanings in different contexts in the way you use it. Japanese manga and Japanese video games do this all the time. So when they say the word omnipotent, it doesn't mean infinite power. It's actually in context to the first and second usage of this context on the translator, which is all around and all purpose. The third meaning for this is not what omnipotent means when Void Shiki is referenced with the void. Her void is not all-powerful. In fact, it's only one part of creationism, and there's a lot of other voids that contain it. So, as an example of this, we can run to the Dragon Ball Z manga, where Super Buu now tries to claim to celebrate his omnipotence. You have seen this in every single manga possible. It's in every single one of them. The word omnipotent doesn't actually mean infinite power. That is not what it means in this context. So sure, Void Shiki is pretty powerful. She might be a infinite tier reality warper in the mortal realms, only because that's what the Akasha is. So when you hear other enthusiasts and scalers try to reference that Void Shiki has these incredible feats and she can do almost anything, well, you have to ask them for actual evidence because the evidence doesn't exist. This character is virtually featless and has no actual combat experience when it comes to cosmic level scales and infinite reality warping and things like that. All of those statements are character boasts without any actual demonstrated feats. And worse, most of the Void Shiki scalers insist that the void that Void Shiki is from, which is the root, which is connected to the Akasha, is somehow equivalent to the absolute void. The absolute void in Hinduism is the Parabrahman, which contains existence itself, not just one creation, not just this one part, but literally everything that exists, every possibility of everything. There are infinite creations, and inside of those creations exists lots of little voids. There's a void around the metaphysical aspects of the Hinduism creation. There's a void around the heavenly aspects. There's a void around the mortal realms. The Akasha is the void around the mortal realm, and that is connected to the void that Void Shiki is all about. So there you go. Void Shiki debunked, not even close to Parabrahman, not even close to the Sea of Brahma Garbhodaka.